Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque, then in the same church, in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness by giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to become arrogant in the power that you have understood and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand, to be there to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle, which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and in the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the 272nd One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace and Justice here on Tuesday, May 2nd, 2023. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, Education Department, and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond, and I'll be hosting today's program. Along with, we have Mark as a co-host and Chaco today as well. And I think we're ready to begin today's presentation. So let me get that ready and we'll dive in. Okay, let's begin. We're not hearing you, Sweta. So
now can you hear me, Rick?
yes, now we hear your lovely voice.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Diving in again, I will say, hello, beautiful souls. Welcome into the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Welcome in the beauty and totality of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Welcome to the beautiful energy of all knowledge seekers. Welcome to the beautiful energy of the universal souls, and that we are all. Welcome to the beauty and totality. And welcome to the oneness of one planet, one nation, one race for justice and world peace. Beautiful it is. And with this, I will say some few words from my heart and soul that give you some space, yourself some space, my dear beautiful souls. Then you will understand that this space is a spaceship. And this space, in this spaceship, when you give this space, you will find peace. And when you find peace, you will understand love and light shining like a star. And in this spaceship, you can go anywhere, anytime. There will be no time for it. So give yourself some space, as we are all giving. And this is the knowledge. And this is the way we are moving. You know? And because the chaos is there, the material is there, the brittleness is there, bringing out yourself, to be kind to yourself, gives services to all, then you will care for all. You know? That is the care we understand, that has been not understandable from eons, to give love unconditionally. So here I will say, give some space to you, my dear. Be kind to yourself. That is the most important thing. So thank you for listening. Thank you. And salam, namaste, salute, my dear beautiful souls. Now we can go to the next slide. Next presentation, my dear.
Okay, that will be my part. Elevate to balance all souls in existence. When we talked about what we will write today, we talked about what we have to write, what we don't have to write, what words can say or what words can't say. And as we learned from what Mr. Keshe said, the elevation brings the balance to all souls. And what we learned is what the new technology will bring. After elevation, and we become ready to travel, to transmute, the balance will be included. So if we start to travel, and soon that will be the case, there will be imbalancing while we are going from A to B. And with this knowledge, we learn, we give it to all the others, to all souls in existence. And by sharing that, we will bring peace on earth. As a Keshe Foundation, as knowledge seekers, all together. Thank you. We can go to the next slide. Shweta, please help me.
Oh, yes,
Is
I
it
am
yours?
here.
Is it Stefania? I'm not sure.
Oh, all souls are invited to read the
Okay.
wish. I invite Mark, if you are here. Mark, my dear, you can read the wish as you always do.
And of course, these are wishes. These are energies that are created by members of the Universal Council to allow them to do their work in a correct way. If it's correct and when all souls agree to come together. But this is the way the Universal Council is learning to work in this dimension of energy rather than in the dimension of the physicality. So this is why we create wishes and send them out. I'll read the first one. We, the Universal Council soul, command the love and knowledge to be reborn daily in every soul of every being with peace and elevation. Our wish is our command. Thank you.
We are present. Thank you, my dear. Now we can move to the next presentation. Oh, this is 1 minute of silence, my dear beautiful souls, and you are all welcome, as you are always here. As in the unified field, we are together for the elevation of all souls that exist, and this is very necessary, as we know in these moments of chaotic brittleness, we elevate so that all souls can find the space to understand the way peace works, the way love works unconditionally, anyway, in physicality or non-physicality. So, elevating all souls. Hello, can you hear me, Rick?
Yes.
Hello? Oh, okay. Thank you. So, for this is 1 minute of silence, my dear beautiful souls. Thank you. And the minute starts now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you so much for being here, present here, taking the responsibility of all that is existing. And this is the way we all live together. And this is life that was never understood before. So thank you. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, salute. And we can go to the next presentation.
Since Marie is not here yet, she will come later. Please skip to the next one. Thank you, Rick. Hello, dear souls, as usual, in, on, and beyond our wonderful blue planet. I am Jacko, UC member for the Dutch language. I've chosen this item time because of what we learn in the teachings. We will see how time will change what we experience. Mr. Keshe is talking about the envelope of plasma, and that equal what we put in it at Earth condition. It is and it stays the same in physicality. It will not change. In soul level, we appear according to the environment, inertia field strength. That means that if we're traveling to other planets outside the boundary of Earth, there will be changes. Partially we can do it conscious, and partially it will be according to the environment where we travel to, where we manifest. And since there were a lot of questions about what we do, how do we do it, how can we train it? Of course, if we don't have the systems to support, what is left? It is our soul, it is our body, and our soul of physicality who have to find a way to position each other, to accommodate each other, and to change the envelope. So what is inside now, the soul in the body, we put it inside out. The expanding of the soul, if it covers the physicality, Mr. Keshe says, then we have this envelope. And we can start to position, to manifest in other environments, or in the environment of Earth, and everything will stay the same. Now what we see is in the very near future, there will be an abundance of water, food, energies. That will bring us as humanity an independence that we never had till now. Humbleness is the key to be able to give. And in the knowledge that we are at the beginning, we will exchange with our universal family, but also exchange with the plants, animals, or stones. And I think it is perfect if we see this exchanging, training our souls in Earth condition, that we get used to it and be ready to have this freedom of travel. It will be like in case of the birds, no borders. Last Friday, I was in wellness, and I was in the pool, and a little blackbird with a white breast and a white back head was standing at the side of the pool. He was looking at me, and I was looking at him. And it was like, if you would think, do you want to talk to me? And I started smiling, and we moved our heads a little bit left side, right side. It was like synchronized. It was a beautiful experience. Next slide, please, Rick. So there's a big change, and it is really about to come. It's like in the time of the windmills we see here on the picture. Back then, their new transmissions brought a new area, a new change that was never there before. Later on, it were the steam trains, the electricity, the new communication devices like telegraphs, telephones, and mobiles that changed our world. Now we enter the age of plasma, and it will bring changes that we still cannot imagine. But what we know and is very sure, all will be equal, and all will have the same conditions about food, beverage, health, and energies. The stealing in any kind and form must stop. The oppressions and killings of other souls must stop. When we look around, there's a lot of confusion between I and we. Mr. Keshe asked us to understand, to become one, to become we. Because we is the only way to come to the level of where we as one can start to govern on a soul level. How important that is, Mr. Keshe told us. And if we come to this level, wishes become creations in love, in unconditional love. And by that, the wishes become obsolete. Simply doing it, doing good, and all the rest. The time of words is coming to an end. As soon as we understand how our soul and the other souls work, we understand words are not necessary anymore. And remember, no word written will be found, so Mr. Keshe said. So when we get into the dimension of our universal family, we don't need words anymore. And to those who missed the last half year of teachings from Mr. Keshe, we can assure you a very lot did change. Mr. Keshe took us on a speed train track straight into the living world of plasma. Don't think too much. Start to feel your life, your surroundings, and face them with all the love and humbleness the Creator gave you from the very beginning. In a way, we go back to that beginning in oneness. Allow the love to flood your life, your beloved ones, and all that is around you, be it a plant, an animal, a stone, or your neighbor. Times are changing. No more killing, no more addictions, no more lies and cheating. It's time for the truth, pure and direct, soul to soul. Now please open up, allow this beauty to happen. Do it now, do not hesitate, elevate. How much, how far do you trust your soul? Is it until the next day to put a little butter on your bread? Or is it unconditional, 100%, becoming one between your soul of physicality and your soul? Trust and give your soul the lead. It's like in a song that Glenn Frey sings. Let me read it for you. I felt it when the sun came up this morning. I knew I could not wait another day. Dear soul, there is something I must tell you. A distant voice is calling my way. Until we find a bridge across forever. Until this grand illusion brings us home. You and I will always be together. From this day, you'll never walk alone. You're a part of me, and I'm a part of you. Wherever we may travel, whatever we go through, whatever time may take away, I cannot change the way we feel today. So hold me close and say you feel it too. Because you're a part of me, and I'm a part of you. Thank you very much. Next slide, please.
Hello, Jacko.
Hi, Marie.
Hi. I'm ready for the One Nation. I want to go back.
Okay, Rick, can you please go back? Thank you.
Just have to turn off my coffee.
Good
Okay.
idea.
Yeah, it makes me. Okay, hello everyone. I am Marie. I'm a Universal Council member for the Norwegian language. I hope you can hear me well because I don't have a headset today. Last Tuesday, I read Mr. Keshe's vision for the One Nation from the 482 Knowledge Seekers workshop. And today I have another part which is related from the 483rd Knowledge Seekers workshop. So I will read this part. So it's Mr. Keshe who lectures us. We welcome you back with great pleasure. It's maybe one of the greatest pleasures mankind has ever known. As we listen to the intro, recorded some 3, 4, 5 years ago, we see how the evolution in science has brought us to what we see today. What this intro explained or brought forward is now a reality with the technology and the systems which we have developed. We work through the soul of the man. When we directly get ourselves involved in elevating the soul of the man to the point of passing the boundary, the physical structure of the man. So the boundary is the physical structure of the man. There are many of you, hundreds of you. Now we run into thousands that have been in the system, have traveled, have seen your loved ones. You have gone to places you never could imagine you go. And with the dimension that you understand and you control. So what was amiss for thousands of years in past 5 years have become the reality to many of you. And the good news is that in the next 5 years, it will take a new direction, elevation, and dimension in all aspects of technology. In the coming weeks and months, Keshe technology and the development of the space technology will take a leaping jump. In the coming weeks, I will explain more and more as we consolidate, as we change, as we grow and become one of the major corporations and major organizations in partnership with other structures. Keshe Foundation is just about to break through in the dimension of the space technology, in dimensions of the structure of the technology worldwide. And this has come through the hard work of many of you as knowledge seekers. It allowed us to deliver the development of the soul of the man for more people to understand, for more people to benefit by this structure of the technology, which has come through the introduction, understanding of the collective fields effects of any entity, be it the soul of the man, be it the atom, be it electron, be it the soul of a tree, be it the soul of an animal. Now the knowledge has reached to the point that it's time to leap forward. The frog leap will be so huge in the coming months and years that many of you will say, I was there when it started. I'm one of the original knowledge seekers. I am one of those who understood in 2000 or whatever it came across. Many of you heard about the Keshe Foundation since 2010 or 2005. The teaching and the explanation of the science to many scientists go back to the 1980s, early 80s. Discussions with NASA, all recorded in letters and correspondences, that such a technology, such an evolution in science will come. We've seen Musk burning one of the biggest rockets last week, and they are happy that they just could take off. In the next few weeks, the space technology of America will become obsolete by the technology which the Keshe Foundation, in collaboration with a major government, will make the American space technology to a halt. All we have seen as NASA, all we have seen as a space technology, and all the wonders of burning rocket fuel will come to an end. The evolution of the science and technology is at the reach of the man. Not only at the reach, it has been developed to be delivered. In the coming weeks, as we unravel the new collaboration and cooperation with many governments, with many structures, you will understand what you as knowledge seekers have been waiting for has been accomplished. We stayed quiet. We just tell you what is to come. And it's the job of the governments to announce the collaborations. It's the job of their structure to deliver the technology to the population. We are ready and we have delivered. And in the coming days, we are ready to take that leap of development and delivery of the technology to millions of people. It comes out of hard work. It comes in understanding the elevation and evolution of the world leaders. When we ask you to raise the level of the soul of the world leaders, it had a reason. We have reached that point. Many of you took part. Many of you with sincerity raised that point, and today we have reached that point. In the coming time, in the next few weeks and months, you will become aware of the change in technology, in evolution in technology, and collaboration with structures will bring that change forward. Keshe Foundation, as you, as Keshe knowledge seekers, will become one of the prominent structures in the science and technology. When we will not hear any more about Americans are about to launch a shuttle, launch a rocket and burns, and we are happy we passed the first 30 seconds, the first minutes of flights without exploding, as we heard with Musk's flight a couple of days ago, that we are just happy. The age of the rocket technology and propulsion is finished. It literally has come to a halt. We will deliver technologies which will replace through the structure of space technology for man. Man has now two options. You can travel through the physical dimension of the space technology, like UFOs, or you can travel in the dimension of the soul as an energy pack. As I have explained many times, if I make an envelope of the plasma, it doesn't matter if I put a pen in it, the soul of the man in it, or a chair, or a dog. That envelope, when it delivers and opens up, then whatever is in it will manifest itself according to the time, place, and position of the fields of the environment. If it's Earth you are on, you go in as a dog, you come out as a dog. You go in as a tree, you come out as a tree. You go in as a man, you come out as a man, out of the envelope, a plasmatic envelope. This technology is unknown to outside. It's a dream. If you listen to the transportation and what the scientists up to now have done, they have been trying to move an electron, energy of it, part of it less, up quark, down quark, and all that mess we have created in the dimension of the physics. Now, it doesn't matter if you are an up quark or down quark, whatever you are, a dog, a cat, a man. Once we create that envelope, when we deliver that envelope in the atmospheric condition of the Earth, on a land-to-land position, you come out as you are. But when we deliver that envelope from Earth to Moon, you mutate and expand of opening of the envelope to the dimension and the condition of the environment you're in. We will not see man wearing a space suit on the moon, as man will evolve to the dimension and the structure, can live in the moon, on the moon, inside the moon, in the upper or lower atmosphere of any planet, any space and time. Maybe you can understand the teachings of the past. When we said the time of death, the separation of the soul of the man from its physicality, the space and the time and the position of the soul in the dimension of the creation has been decided by the strength of the soul itself. Now, if your soul happens to manifest in the water of a distant planet, would you drown and die? Or would you manifest as a new creature which can live in that environment, taking the dimension of the soul of physicality? Evolution in change, it comes from transmutation in energy fields. In the next 2 quarters of this year, we go ahead with the journey, transportation, and transmutation of the first 2 men on the moon. How would we see them? And then in the following months and years, we plan to open colonies in cooperation with the governments. Keshe Foundation is not alone anymore. Keshe Foundation will establish, with collaboration, one of the largest governments in the world to establish the first colonies on Moon and Mars. And I have more, because there is another part of it. It's from, because this first part was from the start of the 483rd. But on about 1 hour, 7 minutes, there is something I called a new era of understanding. But the question comes, do we need to spend money on useless defense technology? And then we need to go into the space technology, which is real. Do we need to fight, or do we deliver the waves of love and care and harmony to the pilots in the fighter, which is heading to drop a bomb? It turns back. I'm there to defend my territory. I'm not there to kill. You got to understand, now with this new technology, we are entering a new era of understanding the emotions and the soul of the man and the creatures. And we need to learn that to be able to survive in space, we need to do that to be able to travel the depth of space. We need to understand the working of the universe. Then it comes to a new position, that how do we take that new step? And would we use the new opportunities created for us to show the new ways of thinking and to show the new ways of living that brings the change? In so many ways, in the next few weeks and in the next few months, you will see a change in the attitude of 24 of the world leaders due to manifestation. Or maybe that was the page number. Sorry. In so many ways, in the next few weeks and in the next few months, you will see a change in the attitude of the world leaders due to manifestation, presentation of the new technologies, which is based on the development, understanding of the plasma technology, and not exclusively by the Keshe Foundation. As now we open the doors of flooding the world of business and technology with a new knowledge, with a new understanding, knowledge seekers, new scientists as knowledge seekers will spend up the delivery, will speed up the delivery of the technology, speed up the understanding of the technology, and speed and spread of the plasma technology. We don't see many we don't see many what we call the industrial revolution tools of understanding the work of the steam engine anymore, except when we go to a sauna. We want a little bit of it on the fire. The same shall be present technologies which we are used to at the present time. In the coming weeks and months, new doors, new opportunities, new tools, new ways of development and delivery of technologies will be accepted and done by the governments that will bring that change. A new era in the world of science of the man, understanding the work of the plasma, delivery of the plasma and new dimensions and directions, new universities which teach the real work of the universe. So that was One Nation for today, and it's a lot about collaboration with the governments and the corporate business. And so it will be very exciting to see what's coming. So it's like this new era is coming just now. Thank you. Jaco, do you want me to read this, or do you want to read it?
Isn't this the timestamp?
Oh, did you find the timestamp?
Yes, and I sent it to Rick.
Yeah, beautiful.
Okay. You want me to play that now then? The
Yes, please.
excerpt from. Okay. So this is an excerpt from the 483rd Knowledge Seekers Workshop from April 27th, 2023. And it starts at about 38 minutes and, and 50 seconds. Okay. Just a second here.
Understand the principle of the creation, that we understand how every grain lives and works on its own, and how we can move into and understand it and move out to bring them to see how we live. There is no difference. If you look at the number of the sands in the desert, the number of the stars in the sky. Maybe there are more stars in the universe than there are sand grains in the desert. Then we understand, even as a grain, now we have the capability to understand the totality of some, and in time, maybe a little more than some. And this should not make us proud and ignorant to the fact that we know nothing is still at all. In a coming time, when you become, and your children become, and your grandchildren become the travelers of the space, the true way, teach them one thing. Always be humble that you can receive, and not arrogant that you cannot give. By receiving, you gather strength. By receiving, you gather knowledge. By receiving, you become somewhere down the line, maybe just about equal in the knowledge of the creation if you can meet with every grain of sand in that desert? For man to gain the total knowledge of the universe, man has to travel to every single universe and every single star and every single planet and every single life on each of the positions in the universe of the Creator. Because each one is unique. Each one has its own principle of the creation, it has own condition, and it has its own dimension in the world of the creation. And without one grain of sand, you cannot have a desert. But with a collection of sand, you make that desert. In the desert sand, we don't see any difference between the sand. Unless we pick it up and observe it closely, as they say, to find a matching stone, matching green in the desert is like trying to find a matching snowflake. So every grain is different, even though they look the same from outside. And for man to learn the knowledge of the Creator, you have to learn about everything about how that grain was created and what lives within it, and how that structure of life has given it the manifestation of the world. Then you understand, with all the knowledge which man is proud of achieving, you have not even become that grain of sand, let alone the grain in the desert of the knowledge and creation of the Creator. Once we understand this, we start moving forward. Once we understand that the knowledge we gain is part of the knowledge of understanding the totality. Once we understand how the interaction of the fields lead to what condition, then we become part of the knowledge that by working out, by comprehending, we add to the knowledge of the others, that they have access to us unconditionally. In a way, it becomes us. In a way, it becomes the soul of humanity that teaches the soul of the universal community as a whole what we learn. Be it what we learned from the fish, be it what we learned from the trees, be it what we learned from the sand. When you look at the new knowledge, and now that you understand even the stone, even the sand has a soul, then you have to carry that knowledge within you from earth, that when you meet with the others in the universe, we can transfer that knowledge. Then we come to understand the totality of the creation. Then we become humble enough to understand where we are about to go and what we are about to learn. And then we have to understand what will be the next step in the development of the science and technology for us. Which way we decide as knowledge seekers and the collaborators with us to where and how to share this knowledge that we all understand. We need to develop technologies that we can communicate with the soul of the plants. We can communicate with the soul of the fish and the dog and the cat. That we understand we can communicate. If we cannot communicate with our own soul, with the dimension we are born in, how do we expect to communicate with those of the space? In the next few months and years, man has to understand how to communicate non-verbally through the soul with the other creatures of this planet, which were us up to now. They were all like walking, or they were going up the wall, and we picked their fruit. We need to understand this. We need to comprehend. And then, once we accomplish how to interact with the soul of each other, how to interact with the soul of the other creatures of this planet, how we respect each other's soul, then we are ready to enter in the world of the Creator in other dimensions to be able to interact with the other souls of the universe. Many of you will come in the next few weeks and months to question your own integrity of the knowledge. Many of you in the coming months and years will question yourself. What have I understood? What have I missed? And what I need to understand to become part of? If you want us to ship you into a fish tank, you're quite welcome. But if you want to become true passengers of the universe, you have to learn to let go of the dimension of physicality of the man and live and exist in the dimension of energy of his soul. Then we have two tourists, physical tourists and the soul tourists. And what happens if the husband wants to go with the soul and the wife wants to go with the physicality? What are the future mayhaps, we shall say? And what will be the structure of our governments to allow which and which? We will see a total change in the approach of what we call the funny passports and no entry visas and the rest of it. I don't need you to issue me a visa to enter your airport, as I'm already sitting in your pocket as an apple, because I decided to be an apple in your pocket. Do we need now to issue passports and visas for every apple and orange and every bird? Now you understand what this technology has brought. And I said many times in a very clear way, do the birds which migrate have a passport on their tails passing every border, starting from Siberia to African destinations? Do they present their passports when they land in South Africa, coming all the way from Europe? Sorry, have you got vaccination? Otherwise you cannot land, go back. Now man is in that position. With the development of the new technologies, with understanding of your effect and the power of your soul, I wonder how many of you have a soul passport? And how would you show it? The upcoming changes in the world of technology and transmutation and transportation will create another headache, but a freedom for governments. What I call international, national taxation for providing services, well, that's on the card. It's a reality of the next few years, where collectively all the areas, whatever you country you call yourself, become responsible for collective care of everyone. Because with a new enhancement, what we call health unit, we don't need to move to a hospital to get a better service in Germany than we can get in Africa, because now we get the same service in Africa as we get in Germany, because doctors of the Keshe Foundation are there to provide you irrelevant of your nationality, time, and position. As I said in our talks with the people of the government very recently, your nation is awake 8 to 12 hours a day. The systems are workable 24 hours a day. The same system in your country, now after passing of the time of the day here, are usable by the rest of the people in other continents which their day starts. Then we see international collaboration and setting up of the systems for healthcare and food become part of one nation. I built the structure of this technology as one nation, one race. In a near future, governments which use the food and the green and energy as a means of control will live in the doldrums of their own dreams. With one app, you get the food. With one app, you get the medicine. With one app, you get the energy you need, and that app is free. And then, who can control? Then, who will become the governor? Then, it becomes for those who control the totality to deliver the totality. When a nation is not worried about feeding its citizens, when a nation is not worried about the energy to deliver to citizens, when a nation can deliver the health care and welfare at any point to its citizens, that nation is at peace. That nation will find comfort. You don't find no one robbing no one to eat. We don't find someone selling drugs to have money to eat. And then we find out most of the addictions of the man, but being provided for, becomes irrelevant. A world without addiction of killing to survive. A world without addiction to destroy, to possess. In the next few months, you will witness one of the biggest industrial revolutions in the history of man. In the next coming up weeks, you will see step by step how the progressive development of the technology will become applicable to many people through the interim use and understanding of the technology. From where we sit today, and when we look at the next 10 years, most of the government's budgets will go through the window. Because you don't need to allocate money for food that your nation is fed. You don't need to allocate money for energy that Arabs can hold on to charge you more, for the king of Saudi to have a better woman, nicer woman, and more of them in the same bed. That's all we've done. We have proved, we have given with our rights to work day and night to pay for the fuel, for these people to become the abusers of the man himself. When you can have all the energies, Arabs can sell their sand to themselves. These are not talks. These are, as we see in next 5 or 10 years, now becomes the reality of what we call one nation, one planet, one race. Equality to access to the basic amenities through the technology. We set up this through the system we offered you a few months ago. For health, this, for food, that. Even those we put up in a very near future will be revamped into a very effective, powerful way to deliver. And this will come out of disasters, not out of the pleasure of the world leaders and governments. When we see another massive earthquake, when we see another massive flood, when people know the technology is there, they just call their family, get this app, you have food, get this app, you have medicine, get this app, you have energy, you don't need to die under the earthquake which happened in the desert or in a snow place and die of hunger, lack of medicine or frost. And then this become natural process as more and more will get access to it. It's the responsibility of the Keshe Foundation and knowledge seekers to deliver these technologies today, not tomorrow. And we've done our best. And we are on the verge of breakthrough to achieve it. But we have to play, as I'll call, two horses at the same time. One, gradual introduction of technology that the majority of the population can understand. And one, the fast track that the advancement in technology can be understood by some, that those who come in a slow coach can join in the next 3 to 5 years to join the fast track. I was privy, or I was put in a position in the very recent past, without anybody knowing. I was just a bystander sitting outside, and there was a discussion between men of military at the highest level. And one said to the other, we have the latest so-and-so from America, and by the law, we have to fly 35 hours a year. Our pilots have to keep the standard and our certification. He says, all our pilots, maximum flown last 2 years is 4 hours. We don't have the fuel. We don't know why we are buying these things. We should don't have the fuel to fly. Tens of millions paid in the death of a nation to protect it. And those who are trained to protect it don't have the money to train and live with it. Very soon, we'll pay visit to the runways of the nation's military bases to watch these obsolete F-18s and all others, the drones which could travel and do whatever they like. Because you said that F-17, F-18, F-16, we don't need to fight anymore. We just create a field that the pilot does not even want to have a fight. He will land, he says, take the aircraft, it's yours. Even they bring electronic remote, we can change the essence of the emotion of the drone. We don't need to capture it like 4th of December in 2011. Don't forget, even the chip through the interaction of the fields of it has a soul. And when you get that information to the soul of the chip, goodbye. I'll explain to you something for the first time, and I'm sure my colleagues and friends will kick me for it, but let me tell you a secret of technology. When you capture a drone through the process of the Keshe Foundation, and in the long-term haul to land it, you'll find out something very strange. In some of the reports, when the Americans got trapped by the fields of the submarine and aircrafts of what we call the Russian Air Force in the May of a few years ago, this was not revealed by the Americans because they were ashamed to say. But those who captured the drones of the Americans and now can do like catching a fly, you find out one thing. We can copy the chip on every latest drone we capture. It's a very simple system. You literally put it through MRI system and you rotate it, and every circuitry, Americans spend billions of dollars to create for a drone to do certain thing, is in the chip. But there's one problem with this chip. When you put it through magnetic field of the capture, it all gets screwed up. The chip burns out. The chip doesn't burn out. It becomes what we call ineffective, because the fields all connect to each other and there's no field. You capture a drone with the latest chip technology in it, but not flyable. Don't forget the American 24/7 soldiers of America, when Donald Duck arrived in the Romanian port, they told us, but nobody understood, that the officers could not even talk to each other on their mobiles on the board of the ship, because the mobiles are all short-circuited. And if you keep it long enough, as knowledge seekers, you know, they get nano-coated. So when a nation like Iranian forces capture the drone, we get a dead duck. Literally, what happened to Donald Duck is a shut down duck. Americans would not tell you this, that we got the ship back, it's perfect, but electronically it doesn't work. They even couldn't understand how this works. It's the first time we explained to them the magnetic fields created by gravitational fields, by the frequencies, creates a short circuit of the fields and the system does not work. Magnetic field trapping. So when you want to copy the chip, you put an MRI, you make a copy of it, but the copy works now because you had the original, which is short-circuited. But in the new one, you don't see short-circuit because it's a new chip. So as I said to a message to the American administration that time, we can give you your dead dog back. The systems going through new space technology has to be developed in the way that electromagnetic fields, plasmatic fields, cosmic ray fields does not affect their operation. And there is a way to do it. What you put in space has to come back to you, not to be affected by the fields of the space. This is the reason we developed this technology. At the speed of light and above light, you pass through many field strengths, different power, different combination, different direction. One like positrons, like electrons, one another. You can't have the condition which once we put the American drone through, it all looks good, but nothing inside it. That's why we put it on the platform to show it. We couldn't fly it. Now you know why the Iranians put the drone on the platform and they showed it in December of 2011. Because electronically it was unflyable, because by capturing it electronically, plasmatic magnetic field wise, we short-circuited everything. But now we can sell the drones cheaper than you because we just put every single chip, we copied it physically, and now we can make it. The same Americans took the Donald Duck back to America and they found out, sorry, it's just a drone. They brought parts and replaced it and it worked, but never understood why it didn't work. Because high field plasma condition, those little fine wires, which is drawn by microchip lines, they're very sensitive to high fields of plasma and they nanocoat themselves. They become isolated, insulated superconductor, which means they don't work. So in the development of the new space technology, we have to consider all these. We learned when the drone landed in Iran that, we have a dead duck. Don't worry, which I'll tell you this, because Iranian government released my name as a man behind the development of the technology February of last year. So I'm officially known to be involved with these kind of technologies. And Iranian television in the past few weeks had released 10 or 15-minute program showing me as the new father of the new space technology of Iran. So it's not a secret. So we can tell you how 10 years ago, after we said on the what we call 3rd of December, we're going to show the power of the technology. On the 4th of December, we captured the most powerful toy of the American, that President Obama said, can we have our toys back? Up to now was the most advanced drone in the world.
I think we can stop it here, Rick.
But the question comes, do we need to spend money on the...
Thank you very much. So now we can continue to the next slide, please. So the twin source, could you please put up the pictures of Diane? Hello, Diane.
Hi. Sorry about the
Hi,
bad
hi.
drawing. I had to do a quick drawing last night. It's Diane. I'm a supporter, and I've been trouble, like always working the knowledge, and sometimes I get different understanding. I go, what? And then even drawing this out, I got a new understanding, like the new dimension, like this, the physical soul and the soul of man is going to become is one, but we got to make it one. We got to connect the two, and then we can fly or whatever. And then when we want to be physical, we can. I don't know how we have to do that yet, but this is my understanding. I don't know if it needs any explanation, or like the top part is like for physical, like we're matter and we're gas. Like the gas moves, from what I understand and what I understood when I wrote, it's like gas and matter. The gas moves the matter around. And the soul is the, I guess, like the blueprints for that. And like, and the spirit is like the blueprint for putting those two, but with potential difference. And there I'm trying to figure that out. Like the soul of physicality would be the lesser, with the soul of man being the totality. It's kind of like when I learned a little bit about the Kabbalah, and like God, like throughout a part of it, it's the Shekinah, the daughter, and it's like the stretching of the Magrab, like it was all one, and then like the higher energies go one way and the lower energies go one way. Like there's God and there's the lower energies, and now we got to put them back together. Okay, I don't know what else to say about that. If anyone has any information that would help explain or with how they see it. Okay, I'm done. Are there any questions? Like we were trying to, like, because we're all trying to figure this out. This is all new. Like this new dimension, from what I understand, is the two become one, and we can either be the one or the other. We can either be flying with the soul around the universe, or we can materialize on Earth or when we learn, we can materialize on other planets. Please help. I'm done, I think.
I think what it shows very clear is the beauty of the connection.
Yeah, it's very
You have a bad internet connection, Stefania.
Confirmed.
Hello.
Still stuck on the first word. That's really slow.
Plasma loop. Stefania, can you please change position? Maybe you have a better connection.
Rick, this is MOSFET. If you can help me a little bit, I would like to talk in this area.
very simple but effective. Come in mind, when
Stefania.
Okay. Am I talking or is Stefania talking?
Okay, Stefania just left. Go ahead, Mosfeq.
Okay. The last One Nation, One Planet, One Race workshop, there was this Mr. Keshe explaining the interaction between the soul of man, soul of physicality, and our physicality, the emotions. There was a diagram in that presentation. I can draw it, but if you have it, I can use that to talk about something along the same line Diana is talking about. But while you look for it, I can start. This is how I want to go about doing it. Either Mark or Rick can help me. I just need a static picture, not the video. Towards the end, he kind of had the diagram with the two bars in the middle, where the emotional interactions were happening.
Was that in the previous Knowledge Seekers workshop? Not the last one, but the one before?
It's One Nation, One Planet, One Race workshop. It comes from 200 Knowledge Seekers workshop. It was shown there, and it was about the interaction between soul of man, soul of physicality, and the physicality. The part of it, the reason why I want to talk about it is I use it all the time in, let's say, in treating people of illnesses. And I will also talk a little bit about how to practically use it. But I can start while you look for it, because I have a few more things to start the conversation with. And then it will be very easy to go into the rest of it. If you have the diagram, and if you can't, I can still do it. I can draw it here on a whiteboard, if that's the other option.
I'll try to find that.
Okay, I'll start.
To the website now.
I'll look for it. So let's start with something simple that we do at the physical level. We have interaction in our ear canal where we have sound, and we hear sound, and we know one of the exercises that Mr. Keshe suggested very early on, actually, with the headphone, to locate one's soul, to find the position of one's soul. So in that exercise, what happens is that you put on your headphone and lie down or sit down in a relaxing position, and you, preferably with a reasonable audio, what you do is you turn down the, yes, that's the picture. Okay, I'll continue. So you turn down the volume on the volume knob, and it becomes very subtle. And then at one point you hear the sound inside your head, not in the ear. And the place where you hear the sound is the location of your soul, because the audio is getting directly transmitted to the soul. And this approach is used in the headphone-based communication system that we use when we connect to the enhancement unit. So let's examine this experiment in a more from the point of view of our understanding of it. So we have an interaction at the physical level, and we are used to it. We use it all the time in our daily lives. But when we sufficiently lower the volume of that sound, we have this, we can hear the sound in the form of soul's interaction with this audio. So one has to be sufficiently away or turn down one's physicality to hear the soul's operation. So this is a very practical thing. Sometimes you will see, I mean, you know, in a sort of like a environment where you are sitting with somebody and chatting in a sort of like a place where you're talking to a lot of people, and or a lot of people are talking, and you're talking to a certain individual, but there are other streams of conversation going on in the background, which are obviously not the focus of attention when you're talking to somebody. But sometimes you'll notice later on that you heard some other conversation and you remember it, although you are doing separate conversation of your own, but it's coming from another set of people in that environment. How did we hear that? This is not something new. It's many of us have experienced something like this. So this is our soul's operation of picking up things beyond our physical sensory range. So the basic thing is that when there is a sufficient detachment from our physical sensation, we can pick up things at the soul level, interaction at the soul level from our surrounding. So with that in mind, so let's look at this this diagram where Mr. Keshe talks about on the right side you have the soul of man and physicality of the man, on the left side you have the soul of man, and the middle point is the point of the soul of physicality. So the soul of physicality interacts with the soul of man, with the physicality of man, and the familiar emotions that we are used to mostly during our daily lives is this interaction. And usually we have words for it: anger, you know, sadness, and various other things. You know, we all know the words for them. And similarly, that there are emotions that gets triggered. These are the more subtle ones. These emotions are between the soul of physicality and the soul of man. So this is not as loud. And these are only noticeable when we turn down the volume of our overt emotions at the physical level. And by now, many of us are accustomed to it because we have participated in the enhancement unit. Because this is the side we are operating, where we are turning down the emotions that are attached with physicality, and enough. It doesn't have to go away. The thing is that the nice thing is that it doesn't have to go away. But there is a point where we start to notice the interactions between the soul of man and the soul of physicality. So once we are in that position, what happens? We have the two types of emotion, one at the physical level, and one is at the soul level. I mean, the two ends of the middle point. And we can notice the link between the two. And this is the beginning of understanding of simultaneous operation of both ends. And this, and Mr. Keshe was talking about, I think in one of the recent knowledge seeker workshops, either 82, probably 82, 81, one of them, is when somebody asked the question, is that, what do you call it? Moving an object with thoughts. And so here, we have to relate the two ends of the emotions. There is no direct connection because soul of physicality is in the middle. So we are more accustomed to it, but just because of our involvement in various experiments we do. So we are now in a better position to link the two. So one of the strange things about this situation is that there are no words in our languages for the emotions that happen between the soul of man and the soul of physicality. So we can just feel it, but we can't call it anything, call any of these anything. So this is what I'm talking about is a very practical thing. And I have used this kind of things in, treating people, both remotely and even sitting, people I have met, and it can be done. And I have talked about it a while back, but the thing is that it's soul's engagement and involvement in this process of feeling. Now, at two different levels. And then we can play with the two, how we make them interact with the soul of physicality in the middle. And of course, we have, this gives us an understanding of the soul of man's operation with the soul of physicality, or our spirit. So this is fairly straightforward. Soul of physicality, we associate the name heart, we associate with the name spirit. This kind of words are used, but it means the same thing. And the reason this is very relevant to us is in transmutation, we will be using both this emotionality to dematerialize, let's call it this. That's the word that came to my mind, into plasma field, and then rematerialize in human or other shape that's necessary for the given environment. So this border area that Mr. Keshe drew in the middle, where the two relates, is what we have to develop an understanding of the link between the two at the edge that we call soul of physicality. And of course, there are emotions because of false impressions, let's say fear is one of them, that is exploited by many. But if we can, let's say certain news item causes fear in us. And if we can turn down, it's a very survival instinct, so it can be very strong. So one can turn down the volume of it. And then notice on the other side, what is the soul of man and soul of physicality's interaction for this given thing? And then one can take a much more balanced approach to handle the fear or any other extreme emotions that we are familiar with. Some emanates from our interaction with it and the environment, which can lead to diseases. So in any case, this is a very practical way of understanding the powerful emotions that we can use to achieve things at the physical level. And this is where all these wishes come into being. We elevate other soul, and their physicality reacts to it. So we send the fields from our soul to their soul. But learning it within oneself is a little harder. Personally, I feel it's a little harder, but it's a lot more rewarding because you get to understand things, about yourself, and which in turn helps, as I said, to modulate, let's say, the fear, which can sometimes be very burdensome. So anyway, I hope I made some sense. And if anybody has any question, I can answer. Practical or in a plasma science way. I think that may help not only the person who is asking the question, if it's relevant for several of us, it might be worthwhile to ask the question.
Thank you, Masvak.
Thank you.
Thank you, my dear Kaushik. Thank you so much. So beautifully explained. And I want to say something, add something into it, that these experiences, like as you said, like turning down the volume, if there's you can see there's a fear, there's a chaos, there's a material sound of many materialism, and then you will understand the soul is talking to you, experiencing the soul is talking to you and the soul says, trust me. And this, I have experienced this as for now, I didn't came here I didn't came here accidentally. I didn't came here suddenly, but it was a process. When I was in this process, the soul says, if you can go to your childhood, there was me. I have told you I was there. That was a kind of portal opened, Have you heard anything more than that? I was standing, we are all standing there for you. And when I go to the childhood, my childhood, I was like a 11, 12-year-old girl. And we are used to go, my father, mother, and my sister used to go to movies every Sunday there to enjoy, because at that time, there was no TV and that like internet at all. But movie is the best way to entertain. So we go to the movie, and the movie was like a family movie. And when we are coming out of the movie from the back door of the cinema hall, I experienced that I became still. Even my father and mother was discussing, and many other families were also with us. They are talking. My sister was talking to another friend. I was experiencing something, that everything, as Moshfik said, that the volume is very low. I can't understand what my father and mother saying to me, or anybody even saying to me or not. And then I experienced that some people are standing in a light way, in a light. Light means a light, like 100 bulbs are opening, but I cannot see the light, but I'm experiencing in corner of my eyes. And there were people standing, like us. They're long, beautiful, and they like they were smiling at me. They were trying to communicate with me. Now I understand, but at that time I was just became still for few seconds, and then i I as that was a communication I have when I understood. But what happened is that because I was growing in a religious family, the culture was about gods and goddesses, they vanishes and come. I thought that maybe some gods visited me for now. I thought that at time because I was too small. That there is a god, there were gods and goddesses standing. But that was an experience. I, a soul, like trying to uh, be the bridge between me and the soul of man, kind of that. Even I don't understand. I was not able to understand what's that. But these these volume of the souls of all type, all kind came together like me with me. That was experience for me, that is the creator. That is the creator that was always with me. As the creator was there because all the soul existing in this universe came together with the creator, as the creator is inseparable from us. Now I understand that. And that was the many experiences of that kind. And now with the soul communication within, I understand the soul never talks about the pain. It doesn't want to talk about the pain, but it talks about the condition. Have you been in this learning process? But that's all. The beauty is, as the trust grows, the beauty is we are all together always. Just you didn't understand, sometime ignored, sometime you become brittle like another material, but your soul always talked with me. Like that, as Moshfik said, I turned down the volume, or it turned down automatically, and I can hear the soul saying, the creator saying, all the love is saying to me. And this is what I changed my path several times, going to there in the material world, coming to the soulful way, coming to the material world. And yes, this has created many agonizing facts inside me also, as interaction of the two becomes like as my massage says, that Shriman M. Keshe says that driving two horses. And then I understood that which horse I have to ride. And that is why I am here. Because the volume I turned down many times, and with this communication of the creator and inseparable souls all over existence. And now I understand. Now I understand, going back to the childhood again, become a child. What was that? I know what was that. What was happening that time? As we know these times, we are going through like a portal of light, like a opening of all that is beauty and totality, open with this universal knowledge for us. And we are going forward in this path, and step by step we are understanding why we are here, why we have to love, serve unconditionally, what is the purpose. And we are always guided by the universal soul, as we know. So this is very important, that sometimes, like as Maushvik said, in a restaurant, even talking with somebody, drinking coffee, you heard sound very far away, a person going by, and you heard him. How can that be possible? Because you want to hear. That is the key. You want to hear that, and you stopped everything and heard. what the man is saying. Oh my God, I heard, like that, you know. And like, you know, many spiritual people, soulful people like Sufis and Fakir, they sannyasis of olden times, not now. They are mostly they are fake. On olden times, they used to hear, "Oh, I heard your heart. I heard your soul. What you are talking about. I know. Don't worry." Kind of that they used to say. So now this is an ability with in all of us. Like, oh, I can. Even you are not saying something, I can understand what you want to say. Downing the volume of the chaos, I can hear you, like that, you know. So this is my experience, my dear Moshfik, and this is the beauty of it, you know? How can we the explanation, how this is so scientifically explanation, that how beautiful it is that you can explain, with authenticity. That is how this soul and spirit work together, how it is possible to understand, like, you know, as we say carbon 14, and it changes according to what you want, like it changes in a power of zinc, it changes in the power of, and we have experienced that, you know. When we understand the operation of carbon 14, we understand the soulfulness of it, as it is there for everybody, all of us, as we say in the one nation, one race. It is for all of us. Just we have to understand as we go to some country. Suppose we have gone to Indonesia, we dress like we are so humble that we must just dress like an Indonesian, and we must at least learn some greeting words and goodbye words in Indonesian, and we should move like them. You know, this is the humbleness we create to merge with them, and this is the compound we create at that time in the basics of love. So when we say that turn down the volume, you can hear me. So this is what we hear. Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much. Anybody else want to share? Jump in. Hello? Okay.
We have some guests on the list.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, okay. So,
Riz, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, go ahead.
I think we skipped the addiction slide.
Okay.
Next week.
Yes. I think we have some testimonials. Is Hassan available?
I would like to give my testimonial from last Friday, if it's possible.
But
We're already at 2 hours.
Yeah, okay, no problem.
Didn't we?
Yes, fine. No problem.
We also skipped some pictures that Diane had sent, some images.
But is Hassan Halal available?
Yes, he's joined us.
So maybe you can give your testimonial from the addiction session on last Friday, Hassan, and welcome.
Yes, hello everyone.
Hello.
I hope it's not a lot of noise on my side. You're hearing me well?
It's a little muffled. Maybe if you could get a bit closer to the microphone, it might help. I'm not sure. Try it again.
Yep.
Yeah, that's way better. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Yes, so I've been in the session on Friday. And first of all, I want to thank all those who have donated and which I benefited from one of these donations, and it was the addiction awareness. And what I can say is that yeah, we had maybe the expansion of the soul the first 10-15 minutes, I was about to fall asleep, but it was not falling asleep. It was processing on the soul. Now I understand more when Mr. Keshe talked about all these soul aspects we are experiencing. And what I can say is that I'm a heavy daily smoker. I smoke cigarettes, natural tobacco. I resume my cigarette and cannabis. And after the 2-hour session, I felt really very good. No need to smoke. I used to smoke nearly 20 cigarettes a day. Not something small. But after the session, 2 hours later, I was near my cigarettes, having my coffee, but I did not feel the need to smoke. A little bit later, I tried to on one of them. I think because of the habit, not that it came to my mind, because of the habit. So I just I on one of them, and maybe I had 2 puffs, and I could not go further. My body was rejecting it. The next day was Saturday around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Usually I wake up every morning, I have my coffee with my cigarette or anything I drink, be it a juice, be it a lemon juice, a fruit juice, anything I drink, I have to on 1 or 2 to smoke. But the next day on Saturday, I'm really surprised now with no effort. The next day on Saturday, around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I don't know why, I just tried to on another one. And the same, I had 2 puffs, but could not inhale them at all. So I just throw it. I could not go for it anymore. And since that day, Sunday passed, today passed, and no need at all to smoke. Even somebody is smoking near to me, I don't really feel the urge to smoke at all. And what else, which was crazy, it is that I felt no hunger since that day. Even though I went for dinner on Friday, on Saturday, and on Sunday, I did not feel hungry at all. I think I went for food just, I don't know, because of the habit, maybe. But yesterday night, I decided not to go for just food because I was not feeling hungry. So yesterday night, I decided that let me not just go for food because I want to go for food. As long as I don't feel the hunger, I will not go for food. I'm still drinking maybe 1 coffee a day, 1 lemon juice in all those 3 days which have passed. I drank 1 Coca-Cola in between, 1 can, the small can. And yeah, on that side, I really feel no hunger. And it's not like, because I tried, if you remember, Rick, I think one of your teaching and one of the testimonial, I tried to stop food for 11 days. I made it for 11 days. That was the maximum I can do during my trying session to see how we can detach from all of this. And the first 3 days were very hard without food. And because you feel the hunger is there when you are during the full day, you will feel hungry 1 time or 2 times in the day. But this time, since the process, the unit, it is and no hunger, no hunger. It's crazy. It works. The system works. I came with the intention, with no expectation. As said, I just came to give to the system so that the system can learn for others to be able to adjust. And that was the part on addiction, this side of smoke and food. Another thing that was the one which surprised me the most, it is that after the session on Friday, 2 hours later, when we finished the session, I was addicted to my phone. I was addicted to social network. I was addicted to politics, information, always trying to see what is there. And you get irritated sometimes because of the injustice going around, or you get, I don't know, we get irritated sometimes. You just wake up and you don't feel good. You don't know why you don't feel good. And since that day, since the session, I don't have this don't feeling good at all. I always feel happy. I don't know why I feel happy. I'm just happy, and that's perfect. I unsubscribe on many Facebook people which I was following, or on YouTube. So I was subscribed to many people which used to exchange about politics, and that used to make me angry. But after the session, I don't know, my soul told me to go and unsubscribe. I cannot tell you why. It was not me. It was not my physicality. I just unsubscribed from all of them, and it's so good. And that was the thing which was the more interesting. It was the more interesting because I tell you, I feel happy without knowing why, and that's perfect. Yeah, that's the main, and my addiction on the phone is gone completely. I used to be connected anytime to go on internet, just watch videos here and there, and it's so crazy now. I don't feel the need to go for all of this. So the technology was 100% correct. I cannot thank enough Mr. Keshe and all those working in the background for all what you are doing to bring this to humanity and beyond with all the love and kindness. So keep up the good work, everyone. And let's continue to share so that we can reach everyone in need on earth and beyond. Yeah, that's part of testimonial I wanted to do. And I think that it will build up, especially for the food aspect. Because Mr. Keshe said that after maybe 2 weeks
You're
later.
a little bit hard to hear sometimes, but speak into the microphone if you are walking around or something.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so yeah, I think 2 weeks later the soul is processing the physicality, and I'll come back with more changes, with more testimonial on how the situation on my physicality, how it progressed. That was it.
Yes, thank you so much, Hassan. Very interesting. So wish you all the best from in the process.
Thank you. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Bye-bye. We have another testimony regarding the addiction session. It's from Anna Oliviero. I wonder if she's available. If not, I will read it, but if she's there, it's even better.
We don't see her, Marie.
Okay. So this is her testimony. Let me share my experience after participating in the addiction awareness last Friday. This morning, I did not need the coffee. The next day, I felt a very pleasant lightness of my body. I was also able to perform my exercise routine with the mastery that I had not achieved before. I mean, control and resistance. I practice Pilates. I had noticed that my feeling of hunger has noticeably decreased, especially at night. I make my last meal at 3-4 p.m. Today, I had noticed physical sensations when I get involved in certain conversations or situations that can generate anxiety. For example, heartburn during a conversation about the person who is hospitalized, and again, a brief sensation of shooting pain in the hip. For the first time, I have been able to relate these sensations as an alert or message from my body. It's like connecting to body language. I have also felt a lot of inner peace. Thanks to Mr. Keshe and all the knowledge seekers. And it's from Anna Oliviero. Thank you, Anna. Okay, maybe we go to the next slide, or the second next.
A few like very small things, like a couple of minutes, like 1 minute, about the addiction. Can you hear me? Hello?
We hear you.
Okay, just very small. Basically, I as well felt the same of what those two people have described, like definitely stop eating, you don't feel hunger at all, and it's very noticeable, and also this inner peace. But the strange things was during the demonstration, during the session, as Hassan said, the first 20 minutes, you take this time to connect in with the machine, and then towards the end, you connect again. You got 15 minutes. It's a little bit like whoever been to Linz. You got the 3 chair. We used to have the 3 chairs, so you really feel this expansion of the soul. Like if you, let's say, if you're a plane, you land in, so you expand. Sorry, you take off, and then at the end, you have these feelings of grounded, like if you're coming back, no? But the strange thing was that Mr. Keshe said, usually for this session, for who he's been to this session, he knows that we keep the microphone open. So at the beginning, we had the microphone open. And then after 20 minutes, Mr. Keshe said the instruction to close the microphone. And it was very weird because the moment we closed the microphone, I was guaranteed in my head that the machine was switched off. Like I couldn't feel anything for all hour of session. And just before like a few minutes, the Mr. Keshe spoke, I start to feel, they turn on the machine again, because I start to feel suddenly this energy. And a few minutes after, Mr. Keshe said, okay, open your microphone and allow the 15 minutes not to finish off the session. So in my head, I thought, yes, he must have switched off the machine. So, you thinking those things. And but the strange thing was that I kept my microphone off because I translate in Italian and I closed the microphone, and I didn't realize I kept it off. So, and I didn't realize it was off, but I did felt all sensation that I usually have when I have the microphone open. So at the end of the session, I thought, okay, so I can still feel things with the microphone on or with the microphone off. There's no difference. But that hour, I just didn't feel anything. And for me, it was very strange because I've been in a few sessions before. I always had feelings. So some sensation, very strong sensation. Usually for me, is more emotional. So I thought it would be very interesting to see the next few days how it is, because in my mind, I thought definitely the machine was off. But I had all the feelings that you usually have you know, so I felt inner peace. I felt not angry at all. I could go for days not eating, even now. Same as Sano, or same of what this other lady said as a testimonial. So I can recognize all that. But really, it was very curious for me, because I really thought the machine was off. And then I thought, well, maybe at the soul level, maybe we're still connected, and maybe Mr. Keshe make expand the soul. But then I thought maybe turn the machine off, and we still connected the soul level, and then it make us go grounded again towards the end. So I really don't know. I really don't know if the machine was on and off. But it's been very interesting for me, this session. Okay, thank you. Sorry if I took your time.
Okay, thank you, Stefania. Maybe we go to the mission vision slide. Yeah.
This is MOSFET. Since Stefania talked a little bit, I want to just add a very little, something very little. Stefania went to Lens to sit in the system, and I actually first learned to connect to the systems through her, and so it was a very interesting experience for me. I mean, of course, later on I attended some of these sessions. Interestingly, I did most of the sessions, but I didn't do yesterday's, or not yesterday, but the session on addiction. But I did connect. And so people were talking about how long the session was. And I connected exactly the total time they mentioned. So which is interesting. I didn't go out through the phone, but I was connected the exact amount of time more or less, exact amount of time the session went. So it is possible to connect without the phone, and with or without the microphone. And I went through the experience. It was very tangible and clear for me. And so this is another way of connecting, but I just wanted to mention. And, Stefania, at the beginning, I started the experience in a way through Stefania. It was quite amazing. But now I can do it without, let's say, a telephone. And it's doable. And any of us can do it, I think, because one of the things I just wanted to point out is that during the last time when we had the extra weekly session on food, not eating, some of the times the things were not turned on, but I never felt any difference. So anyway, so something to add, something that might help others to do more interesting things. Thank you.
Thank you, Mosfeq. I think we have another guest. Do we, Jaco?
Yes. Fried is here, and in the Dutch group, we have this mission vision Fried set up, and it is in fact a positive disclaimer. So Fried, are you there?
Yes, I am present.
Hello, welcome.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. So, is there a picture from your side, or do I have to read from my side?
Could you share it? Because I'm not sure, Rick, do you have it?
It's not in the presentation.
Okay.
Let me just open it. Okay. Yes. So can you see it?
Yes, we see that now.
Okay. Some time ago, I thought about the disclaimer, which is saying we don't want, we refrain from things like that. And I thought maybe I can formulate in a positive way so that it states what we want. And this has become my mission vision. So I read it. The information and education materials in this broadcast are intended to promote general understanding and dialogue about plasma science and GANs processing. The Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute was established to enable humanity to travel in the universe. Therefore, emphasis is placed on complete independence. Illnesses are cured immediately by restoring balance and seeing where we ourselves have caused them. Food is consumed directly through the universal plasma fields and not through plants or animals. Materials are converted on-site as required and produced without any pollution and waste. Communication proceeds through fully transparent intentions and insights into the unity of everything. Everyone is on the same level. Kings and leaders are at most to contribute humbly to the common good. Religions are there as sources of inspiration to promote human unity, to stimulate subtle cultural aspects, and to advance human evolution. Science has high ethics and is practiced in complete freedom and with all the support of the community for the benefit of all. Money has become serving until it is abolished because everyone can participate in all abundance. The plasma balance processes described here are a natural process that supports the body, mind, soul, and spirit. So that is what came up then when I tried to formulate positively the disclaimer.
And it pretty well describes the ethos of the foundation.
Yes, I think so, and I tried to make it as concise as possible, as compact as possible. So,
cool.
Should I?
Thank you very much.
Stop?
Thank you. Very beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Then we go to the next slide. Here, because on Saturday, there is a new plasma connection with the Universal Council. It's in English and Portuguese, and it's teaching on soul, ethos, and the Universal Council. And I will present the answers on the questions that the audience have asked us. But the answers is from many UC members. It's on Saturday at 11 PM CEST. Welcome, everyone. Hope many will join us and support this channel. Thank you. Then we can go to the next, yes.
Yes, and here is the next guest we have today. Galip, are you there?
Yeah, hey Jaco and everyone,
Hi.
Universal Council.
Welcome.
Well, I just want to say, I'm looking at this picture and I'm sitting in this building right now, but it's been such a nice Universal Council meeting and I've really enjoyed all the testimonies and explanations and ideas that have been going around. I quickly just want to give an update about the Dutch communications and the knowledge seekers here. We're organizing a small gathering on the 22nd of May, the upcoming, which will be in almost 3 weeks. It will be at my university where I'm present as the Universal Student Council, which is how I try to reach out to the students here who have potentially not heard of the foundation yet and the technology, and then I introduce them to the actual Universal Council and all the ethos and the beautiful teachings of Mr. Keshe. Of course, this is a small thing that we're organizing. There's many people coming who are not from the university as well. We're organizing it together with Fried, by the way. You also just heard our beautiful mission and vision that we always play at our Dutch teachings. So this is what I can say about the day, and more if there is like some nice things that I can say or you want to know, just feel free to reach out to us, any one of us. And yeah, I'll if there's pictures, I'll also share with them in the groups. And this is maybe a small update from my side.
Maybe it's important to say that if someone wants to visit the meeting, then please get in contact with Galip or Fried or with me. Then we can gather it.
Definitely, yes.
I see forward to it. It'll be a great evening. Thank you very much, Galip.
Yes, of course, Jaco. We're very lucky, and we're also looking forward to having you on that day and getting to meet you finally, and also everyone else.
Yes. It's the same from my side.
Yes. No, but
Great.
that's a bit. I mean, that's just a bit of a physical joke. But yeah.
Yeah, we're still in transmission. So thank you very much.
Yes, likewise. Thanks.
Okay, then we can go to the next slide, please.
Thank you, Galib. Thank you, my dear. In India, we say Galib ne khoob kaha. The poet Galib, you're like that. Always beautiful words.
Oh, Shweta, thank you. And I also just wanted to say one very short thing, because I know it's also over time, about the communication with the plants and the animals. I think that there was this Indian scientist Bose who was really researching this, and so for people who really want to go into what Sir Keshe was talking in the clip from before about really getting to know the plants and animals, has been a long time of different studies from different countries, India as well, but also in the West here. And you can dive into this. It will be a very nice addition to the space travel. So thank you, Shweta. I really always like the international community.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much for your kindness, love. Thank you. Thank you.
Galip, can you maybe put a name in the chat?
Yes.
Would be great.
And thank you, my friend, my dear, long ago friend, Alfred. Thank you, my dear. Always all the love. And Here, we bring the needs and wishes from your community to the Universal Council as one planet, one nation, one race, for justice and world peace. Justified. And here I also want to say, can we show the images posted by Diane now, before we go to the needs and wishes?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, my dear Diane. Thank you.
Hi, thank you, Sweta. I was just very excited. It was still in May. It's April now. April, May. No, it was March. No, it's May. It was in April, the end of April. I all of a sudden got my first flower. It even flowered before the tulips. And I planted strawberries a couple of years ago, and I'd been messing with or playing with the GANs, and I made this. The GANs came out with blue, but I still use it. The CO2 GANs, it was bluish, and I don't know if it's more powerful. And some strawberry plants that I'd planted, well, some had died, and then I planted some more. I bought some more and put them in, and this one came out red. And well, this one, you can't really tell the color. It's the other one that you just showed is, yeah, that one. It was like pink and white, because there's one that came out red flowers, and it's grown like it's producing like crazy. And this one was like peach colored, but the one flower, it had pink stripes. It had, like, you can see on the side, the middle, to the left. Yeah, that one where you're pointing with the arrow. It was pink and white. And then another one, which kind of got drowned out by the other strawberries, it was like peachy. So I don't know what I did with the GANs, but I'm still getting red flowers, and the fruit was kind of different, more flavorful when it turned out, but sometimes it didn't turn out. I don't know, it's adjusting to the soil or the environment or whatever. But also what I did with this, like spraying the CO2 that was blue, like I was growing sunflowers, and this one sunflower in this spot where the strawberries are, it only grew about 2 feet, but all of the, like the stems and the leaves, like there were before, and all the sunflowers, they grew tall, and there was spaces between. This was short, and there's barely any space between all the flowers and leaves, it's hard to explain. Anyways, I just wanted to show you. I don't know what I'm doing. Just playing with GANs and being in the nursery. And there's like some of the white ones, but now, like, there's so many flowers. I don't know when they're supposed to bloom or anything. I haven't really checked with any other person growing strawberries around. Like, it seemed real early, but I just thought I wanted to share. I can't really say what I did or whatever. Just playing with the GANs. I don't know. I took this picture too, so you can see the snow in the mountains. Like, I don't know if this is normal for it to be early or not, but well, some of the plants and like things, like they stayed green even during the winter. It's really hard to explain. Weird things have happened. Also had weird or strange like bugs, like different flying bugs that I not seen before. It could be do with the climate change, but it may be also because I'm changing the environment, I guess. Okay, I've taken enough time. Thank you. It's a beautiful world, and it's going to be so much more beautiful. Okay, bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. You have shown so beautiful. This is how the condition in beauty and totality works. We say that we are not familiar to these conditions, but as sometimes you can see in this way, I have also experienced applying the CO2 GANs water, that even in here in vegetables, and they have grown in a small pan, so many, and even the flowers have colors, different colors, vibrant color, more like marigold has a vibrant color came. Even a one marigold is there, there's a vibrant color and so strong. These are the experiences we are happening. Yes, the world is beautiful if we say so, my dear. This is the way we are experiencing in this beautiful waters. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing, my dear. Thank you. So please, beautiful souls, if you want to share something, do share. If you have to share love, please do share. Everything works in this oneness, Thank you. And you are most welcome. Please do share. Thank you.
The only thing I can find is there's a comment or question from Stephen in the live stream, who says, we know the earth is not sufficient in the field to feed, apparently. So is the field short on strength, or is something absent altogether? Or are the deficiencies just too weak, and can we increase the strength of the weaker parts by the Earth's core with something like a special sand? Or will the Earth transition to a more fully specialized field? Or will we adjust our needs? Is it possible the Earth will change? What if something in the crust gets into the vascular field by way of the magna flows or through the induction zones? Something gets into the system through natural courses. Any comments on changes and about the deficiencies of the Earth's fields regarding feeding?
Can I say, my dear Rick? Hello?
Sure, of course.
I want to say, my dear Stephen, I want to say that there's no such thing as deficiency. And the nature is you. What you understand about the earth, about all mankind, Sometimes, yes, the earth is changing because we don't want to change. That is the way we see, not prosperity and abundance, but deficiency. Why we see deficiency? I used to see like that, one time. Stephen, you are not alone like that. I also used to see pain, suffering. But then hello? Hello? Hello, my dear Rick?
Yeah, your microphone is buzzing loudly. There's a bad connection or something, Swata. It's really making a lot of noise now. No, it's making a lot more noise now.
Now can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, we hear you.
Thank you. I want to say that when we see the deficiencies, the nature away from us, when the nature is coming to us, why don't we think that the nature is us? Why we see deficiencies? We are also I also used to do that, my dear Stephen. That I used to see deficiencies. I used to see like what is wrong around me. But the thing is, what I haven't seen within myself. What condition we create like that, the garden is yours. So the earth is changing, of course, because mostly the mankind doesn't want to change in a way. But then I will say that we think, well, I will say, in this material world, see the positive side, the positiveness in ourselves also, how we think, what is deficient, what is flourishing, what is abundance. The earth is full of abundance, my dear, if we say so. But if we see deficiencies, then this is a trap. Always we see like that. So
I think he was, Sweta, I think he was probably referring to some of the teachings of Mr. Keshe about the deficiencies of the earth, which is causing people to have to eat animals and to generally the feeding process on planet Earth, and how that's changing with the new technology
of course,
feeding and so on.
This is changing because when we see natural way of growing up, as in material manifestation, we have done this, but this is changing, of course, because this is our intention to change from within, from every individual, and this is changing in a way. But I will say, when the earth is in making and there was a soul, as like a mother creates like a beauty, decorating everything, every person is like that, creating its own garden. And as we are now understanding how to with this knowledge, universal knowledge, so the change is from both sides, the transformation is from both sides. The condition, the environment, the earth, the cosmos, everything is related. And so it's changing in a way, adjusting to be in the position, to be in the service, I will say like that, to understand probably in proper way how to be in balance, in a positive way. So I don't know, I was able to properly understand, but this is the way I think, my dear Stephen. But thank you for the comment and question. Thank you, my dear. Thank you.
Okay, anything else about that, or shall we move along here?
If there is no sharing or question or something like that, then we can go to the next slide, my dear Rick.
It looks like we're clear on the questions and comments in the social media. So
thank you. So here we are here to serve, not to be served. That is the key, my dear. Whether interaction with all that is earth, the cosmos, we, I and you, and all that is. So the Universal Council, we are present, and thank you for being here, and welcome suswagatam to the beautiful energy, beauty and totality of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. And this is the beautiful time, my dear. Jump in, leap in, live, follow, join. Anything you can do to be in, live like a life. So thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, salute. This is Shweta Anwar, Universal Council, Hindi language. Thank you. Thank you so much.
okay, thank you, Sweta. Thanks to all the members of the Universal Council and supporters and others who have attended today's workshop. Thank you, everybody, for being here and for presenting your impressions and presentations. Yes, this has been the 272nd One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace and Justice, here on Tuesday, May 2nd, 2023. Our next public teaching workshop will be the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, which meets every week on Wednesdays starting at 7 a.m. Central European Summer Time. which is equivalent to 10 p.m. Pacific time on Tuesday, May 2nd. So folks are welcome to attend that meeting. And whether you're a newcomer or an old timer, you can get some interesting and valuable information from some of the others that are attending. And we follow many topics and threads as we go through that workshop. And it's always both entertaining and enlightening. Okay, of course, we have the Knowledge Seekers Workshop coming up on Thursday, May 4th, as usual at the 9 a.m. Central European Time. Okay, I think that's our announcements. And
Yes, there is one more announcement I want to make.
Just a moment. Can I say about the testimonials meeting coming up? Isn't it Monday, Rick?
Oh, yes, thank you.
Second Monday. No, this is a monthly meeting, but I think as the new technologies roll out, it may be a daily or weekly meeting, Rick. So I think you'll have to open that room more often, because people will be talking about all the beautiful experiences they had with this technology, whether it's energy feeding, wellness, transmutation, and so on. So.
Right, and that's that'll be at Monday, May 8th, coming up already. And so that'll be the public meeting for testimonials. And that starts at the 8 p.m. Central European time slot. Thank you, Mark.
Yes,
for that reminder.
and we have to hold on for the dance and clap. How about that?
Yes, as is our tradition here, we're going to
of course.
dance,
and clap, my dear beautiful souls.
Spaceship unit with the music version. Thank you, Sweta, for that reminder. And thank you, everyone, for being here. See you next time around.